Have you been feeling a sudden shift in your spirit? Almost as if your old life is being stripped away and you are standing on the edge of something you cannot yet see. Do you feel like God is deliberately separating you from people and situations you used to tolerate? You are not losing your mind. You are being prepared. Welcome back to RationalDeen. Today we are going deep into the truth that very few people are ready to hear. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your life has turned upside down, and most importantly, you will learn the one specific assignment God has placed on your shoulders starting right this moment. The shift begins quietly, often manifesting as a deep, unshakable feeling that something is fundamentally different within you. You might wake up one morning and realize that the things that used to bring you joy or distract you no longer hold any weight. The conversations that once entertained you now feel draining and superficial. It is as if a veil has been lifted from your eyes and you can no longer pretend to be satisfied with a reality that feels too small for your spirit. This is not a sign of depression or confusion. It is the first clear signal that God is calling you higher, pulling you out of the crowd to prepare you for something specific. You might find that the strategies you use to navigate life simply stop working. The jobs, relationships, or habits that you relied on for security suddenly crumble or become sources of immense friction. This is intentional disruption. When you are a chosen one, God will often make you uncomfortable in your current situation to force you to move. If you were allowed to stay comfortable, you would never step into your purpose. The doors are closing in your face not because you are being punished, but because you are being redirected toward a path that no one else can walk. But this phase often brings an intense internal conflict because your ego wants to cling to the familiar version of yourself. You may try to force yourself to fit back into old boxes or reconnect with people you have outgrown, only to find that the connection is dead. The energy is gone. This is because your vibration has raised and you can no longer resonate with what you have left behind. The friction you feel is the universe telling you that you are trying to wear clothes that no longer fit. You are evolving, and the old version of you must die so the new one can be born. It is crucial to understand that this calling is not a burden. Even though it feels heavy at first, it is a promotion. The restlessness you feel is actually potential energy waiting to be directed. You are being stripped of your reliance on external validation, so that your only source of strength becomes your connection with the divine. This is the moment where you stop asking the world for permission and start asking God for instruction. The confusion is simply the clearing of the clutter before the clarity arrives. Ultimately, this divine shift is an invitation to surrender. You have to stop fighting the current and let it take you where you need to go. From this moment forward, your primary assignment is to stop resisting the change and start listening. You are not losing your mind. You are gaining your spirit. The life you thought you wanted is being dismantled so that the life you were created for can be built. This is the beginning of your true assignment, and it starts with accepting that you can never go back to sleep. As this shift takes hold, you will almost certainly enter a season of intense isolation. This is often the hardest part to accept because humans are wired for connection. And suddenly your phone stops ringing and invitations disappear. It feels like rejection, but in reality it is divine protection. God is clearing the room. When you are about to be upgraded, you cannot take everyone with you. The people who are falling away are not meant for the level you are ascending to, and their removal is necessary to keep your focus sharp and your energy pure. This isolation serves as an incubator for your potential. Just as a seed must be buried in the dark soil to grow, you must be separated from the noise of the world to develop your spiritual roots. In the silence, you are forced to face yourself, your shadows, and your true desires without the distraction of other people's opinions. This is where the real work happens. You are being hidden away so that God can download new instructions, wisdom, and strength into you without interference. You must learn to distinguish between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a state of lack, but solitude is a state of power. In this season, you are learning to be your own best company and to find validation from within rather than seeking it from others. When you no longer need people to feel whole, you become dangerous to the enemy and powerful in your purpose. This time alone is building a fortitude in you that will be required for the heavy lifting you will do later in your assignment. Often this separation happens abruptly to remove frenemies and energy vampires who you were too blind to see. Your discernment is being sharpened. There are people who are attached to your history who cannot be part of your destiny. If they stayed, they would become liabilities, draining the energy you need for your mission. God removes them now, sometimes painfully, to save you from betrayal or destruction down the road. Trust the exits. Every closed door is a shield. When you embrace this season of isolation instead of fighting it, you speed up the process. Stop trying to reopen doors that God has shut. Stop chasing people who have walked away. Stand firm in the wilderness, knowing that you are being refined like gold in the fire. This is not a punishment. It is the prerequisite for the power you are about to carry. You are being set apart because you are being prepared to lead, and leaders must learn to walk alone before they can guide others. Your primary assignment has shifted from achieving external success to maintaining radical inner peace. For years, you may have thought your purpose was defined by what you produce, how much money you make, or the status you hold in society. But God is flipping the script. The instruction now is that your state of being is more important than your doing. Your peace is no longer a luxury you enjoy on the weekends. It is the very foundation of your power. If the enemy can steal your peace, he can steal your purpose. Therefore, your number one job every single morning is to secure your internal atmosphere before you step out into the world. You must understand that everything in this universe operates on frequency, and your peace is a high vibrational shield. When you are truly peaceful, you become untouchable to low-level attacks. The drama, the gossip, and the chaos that used to entangle you will simply slide off because there is no hook for them to catch on to. Protecting this vibration requires ruthlessness. You have to become stingy with your energy. You cannot afford to engage in battles that do not belong to you, because every time you lower your frequency to fight a petty war, you are failing your assignment. This level of peace will often agitate the demons in other people. You will notice that when you stay calm in a chaotic situation, people around you might get angrier or try harder to provoke a reaction out of you. This is because your light is exposing their darkness. Your silence is loud to them. Do not apologize for this. Do not dim your light just to make their darkness more comfortable. Your assignment is to hold the line. By remaining centered, you act as a spiritual anchor, and even if they attack you now, your peace is planting a seed in their spirit that they cannot ignore. To maintain this, you will have to make difficult decisions about your environment. You cannot build a sanctuary of peace while allowing chaos to walk through the front door. This means you might have to limit access to certain family members, friends, or co-workers who thrive on conflict. It is not about hating them. It is about loving your assignment more. You have to treat your mind like a gated community. If a thought, person, or situation brings confusion and anxiety, it does not get past security. You must be vigilant, for the cost of your peace is high, but the reward is a life of clarity and power. Ultimately, this assignment of peace is about trust. When you are truly at peace, you are telling God that you trust His plan more than your own anxiety. Worry is a form of atheism. It is acting as if you have no protector. Radical inner peace is the highest form of faith. It declares that no matter what the 3D reality looks like, you know who is in control. From this moment forward, measure your success not by your productivity, but by your tranquility. If you have kept your peace today, you have won. One of the hardest lessons for a chosen one to learn is that you cannot save everyone, and in fact, you are not supposed to. You likely have a big heart and a natural desire to help, heal, and fix the broken people around you. You see their potential even when they cannot see it themselves. However, this savior complex is a trap. By constantly trying to rescue people who are not ready to be rescued, you are interfering with their spiritual curriculum. Some people need to hit rock bottom to wake up, and by cushioning their fall, you are inadvertently delaying their growth and draining your own life force. You must recognize that trying to wake up people who are committed to sleeping is a violation of free will. You will find yourself exhausted, frustrated, and resentful because you are pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. These people are on their own timeline. No amount of explaining, preaching, or begging will make them see what you see if their eyes are not yet open. When you force your light upon them, it feels like an attack to their ego. You must learn to step back and let them walk their own path, even if that path leads them through pain. This constant outpouring of energy to save others leaves you depleted for your own mission. You are giving away the very fuel you need to ascend. Think of yourself as a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not run around the island looking for boats to save. It stands tall, shines its light, and lets the boats find their own way to safety. If you leave your post to jump into the water and save everyone, you drown and the light goes out for everyone else. Your job is to shine, not to swim for them. Releasing this complex requires a deep level of emotional detachment and trust in God's justice. You have to trust that the same God who is guiding you is also watching over them. It is arrogant to think that you are the only solution to their problems. Surrendering them to the divine is not an act of abandonment. It is an act of faith. You are placing them in capable hands, hands that are much stronger than yours. You must release the guilt that comes with saying no to their crises. Your boundaries are not a sign of selfishness. They are a sign of spiritual maturity. From this moment forward, your focus must shift from fixing others to perfecting yourself. The most powerful way to help the world is to become the highest version of yourself. When you embody the changes you wish to see, you become a living example. People are not changed by what you tell them. They are changed by what they see in you. Let your life be the sermon. When you stop trying to be the savior, you finally have the energy to be the chosen one. And that is how you truly make a difference. Mastering emotional detachment is one of the most vital skills you will need for this new assignment. This is not about becoming cold, unfeeling, or indifferent to the world. It is about becoming sovereign over your own energy. For too long, you have been a slave to your reactions, allowing other people's bad moods, insults, or crises to hijack your entire day. You must understand that when you react emotionally to a trigger, you are essentially handing your remote control to someone else. You are letting them dictate how you feel and how you vibrate. The moment you decide that nothing outside of you has the power to disturb what is inside of you, you become free. You need to cultivate the perspective of the observer. Imagine you are sitting in a theater watching the movie of your life rather than being the actor running around in panic on the screen. When chaos erupts, instead of jumping into the fray, take a step back and ask yourself, why is this happening? Rather than screaming, this is unfair. By creating that split second of space between the stimulus and your response, you regain control. This neutral space is where your power lies. It allows you to respond with wisdom rather than reacting with trauma. You become the eye of the storm, calm while everything spins around you. The enemy uses emotional triggers as bait to lower your frequency. Every time you get pulled into a heated argument, a spiral of worry, or a fit of jealousy, you are leaking precious spiritual energy. Think of your energy like a bank account. Do you really want to spend your wealth on things that do not matter? Emotional detachment stops this leakage. You begin to look at high-drama situations and simply decide, this is too expensive for me. You choose to save your energy for your creation, your prayers, and your purpose. You stop feeding the demons that are trying to eat off your plate. There is a profound spiritual power in remaining neutral, especially in the face of conflict. When someone tries to provoke you and you offer them nothing but silence or a calm stare, it disrupts their pattern. They expect a fight, and when you don't give it to them, they are forced to sit with their own chaotic energy. Your refusal to engage acts as a mirror, reflecting their behavior back to them. You are no longer the co-star in their drama. This level of detachment makes you unpredictable and dangerous to those who wish to manipulate you. They can no longer pull your strings because you have cut them. Start practicing this today by pausing. When you feel that surge of anger or fear rising in your chest, do not speak. Breathe. Remind yourself that you are a spirit having a human experience, and this temporary situation is not worth your peace. By mastering your emotions, you stop being a leaf blowing in the wind and become a tree with deep roots. You can feel the wind, acknowledge the wind, but you do not move for the wind. This stability is what God requires of you now, so that He can trust you with weightier matters without fear of you collapsing under pressure. As you master your emotions, you unlock the gift of discernment, which is distinctly different from judgment. Judgment is a function of the ego that labels people as good or bad to make yourself feel superior. Discernment, however, is a function of the spirit. It is the ability to see the truth behind the mask. God is upgrading your spiritual radar. You will start walking into rooms and instantly knowing the intentions of the people there, even if they are smiling and saying all the right things. You must learn to trust this instant knowing more than you trust their words. The vibe never lies. Many chosen ones suppress this gift because they feel guilty, thinking they are being judgmental or mean. You must stop this immediately. That ick feeling you get in your stomach when you meet someone is not you being critical. It is the Holy Spirit warning you of a hidden danger. It is intelligence collecting data that your conscious mind hasn't processed yet. When you ignore these red flags to be nice, you invite destruction into your life. You are not required to vocalize what you see. You don't need to tell them you know they are fake, but you must move accordingly to protect your assignment. This gift allows you to see the spirit operating behind the person. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, and discernment allows you to identify the spiritual force you are dealing with. You might see a person who looks successful and charming, but your spirit picks up on greed, envy, or deceit. This is your advantage. It allows you to navigate toxic environments without getting trapped. You can shake their hand, smile, and walk away knowing exactly how much distance you need to keep. You are no longer walking blind. You have night vision in a dark world. Discernment also protects your time. When you can see who is genuine and who is a time waster, you stop casting your pearls before swine. You stop investing months into relationships that are destined to fail because you saw the ending at the beginning. This efficiency is crucial for your primary assignment. You cannot afford to be drained by vampires disguised as victims. By honoring your discernment, you are honoring the God who gave it to you. You are saying, I trust your guidance more than I trust social appearances. From this moment forward, if something feels off, it is off. Do not ask for logical proof. The feeling is the proof. Do not let others gaslight you into thinking you are crazy or overly sensitive. You are being given the eyes to see what others miss. This is a tool for your survival and your elevation. Use it to curate your circle, protect your peace, and walk safely through the valley. Discernment is not just a skill, it is the guardian of your destiny. Listen to it, and it will never lead you astray. You have likely spent years over-explaining yourself, trying to make people understand your heart, your intentions, and your vision. You must realize now that this need to explain is a weakness. It stems from a desire for validation, a hidden plea for others to agree with your existence. When you operate as a chosen one, you answer to God, not to the court of public opinion. Every time you try to convince someone to respect you or understand your path, you are handing over your power. You are lowering your vibration to meet them where they are. The moment you stop explaining is the moment you become powerful, because you are signaling that you no longer require their permission to be who you are. Silence is not just the absence of noise. It is a strategic fortress. In warfare, you never reveal your next move to the enemy. Yet you have been broadcasting your plans to the world before they have even taken root. You must learn to move in silence. When you keep your mouth shut about your next move, the enemy cannot sabotage what he cannot see. There is a spiritual protection that covers plans that are kept in the dark. By broadcasting your dreams to people who do not have the capacity to support them, you invite their doubt, jealousy, and negative energy to attach to your vision. Keep your cards close to your chest and let your results speak for you. Furthermore, silence is the ultimate response to disrespect. When someone tries to bait you into an argument or questions your character, your ego wants to scream, defend, and set the record straight. But your spirit knows that silence is louder than any scream. When you withdraw your attention from someone, you starve them. People who thrive on drama need your reaction to survive. Without it, they wither away. By denying them your words, you are reclaiming your energy and leaving them to echo in their own void. It creates a vacuum that forces them to face themselves, which is the very thing they are trying to avoid. You must also understand that talking dissipates the energy needed for action. There is a specific amount of creative force given to you for every idea and assignment. When you talk about it excessively, you leak that pressure. You get a false sense of accomplishment from the dopamine hit of telling people what you are going to do, which leaves you with less drive to actually do it. The most dangerous people in the room are the quiet ones because they are containing their energy, building pressure and channeling it entirely into execution. Be the person who pops up with the finished product, not the person who talks about the blueprint for 10 years. Finally, silence allows you to hear the voice of God. You cannot receive downloads, instructions, or warnings if you are constantly broadcasting on your own frequency. The world is noisy, and if you add your own noise to it, you miss the subtle shifts in the atmosphere. Your assignment requires precision, and precision comes from listening. Make silence your sanctuary. It is in the quiet moments that you are recharged and realigned. Stop fearing the silence. Embrace it as the weapon that protects your peace and amplifies your power. Breaking generational curses is often misunderstood as a loud, violent battle where you have to confront your family and force them to change. The truth is much simpler and more profound. You break the curse simply by being the one who doesn't pass it on. You are the checkpoint. The trauma, the poverty mindset, the addiction, or the dysfunction that has run through your bloodline for centuries stops at you because you refuse to embody it. You do not need to save your parents or your siblings to break the curse. You only need to ensure that the chain does not continue through you to the next generation. Your healing is the breaker. This assignment requires you to be a living sacrifice of the old ways. It means you have to make the conscious, difficult choice to react differently than your father did, or to love differently than your mother did. Every time you choose patience instead of rage, integrity instead of manipulation, or faith instead of fear, you are rewriting your DNA. You are literally altering the spiritual trajectory of your lineage. It is not about a grand announcement. It is about the quiet, daily decisions to be healthy in a sick environment. You are clearing the path for those who come after you by walking a different way yourself. You must release the burden of trying to fix the family members who came before you. This is a trap that keeps many chosen ones stuck in the past. You cannot retroactively heal your ancestors by sacrificing your own happiness. You honor them best by surpassing them. When you thrive, you heal the timeline. Your success, your peace, and your mental stability are the evidence that the curse has lost its power. Stop trying to drag them across the finish line with you. Some of them are comfortable in their chains. Your job is to break free so completely that you become a light that shows them it is possible, but you cannot force them to walk toward it. This journey you are on is not a punishment. It is a preparation for a greatness you cannot yet imagine. The isolation, the silence, and the shifts are all evidence that God is trusting you with something heavy. You do not need the world to understand you because you have the approval of the Creator, and that is more than enough. Walk with your head high, knowing that every step you take in peace is a victory over the chaos. You were chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are resilient enough to break the chains that held others back. I want to hear from you now. Which part of this message hit your spirit the hardest? What is the one thing you are going to change starting today to protect your peace? Let me know in the comments below, because your testimony might be the key that unlocks someone else's prison. If you have made it to the very end of this video, you are part of the 1% who are truly serious about their purpose. Prove it. Drop the word assignment in the comments. Let that single word be your signature. A declaration to the universe that you accept the call and are ready to walk in your authority. Writing this helps the algorithm push this message to other chosen ones who are currently lost in the dark. Like this video, stay focused, and remember that you are never walking alone. Until next time.